This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Talk to me about the tagline. This is the first time that an In Your House is marketed with a tagline. As we said, it's In Your House 7, good friends, better enemies. Previous In Your House events would just be In Your House. And if they, added a name to it or a tagline or whatever, it would have been after the fact. Were you starting to experiment more with In Your House? Were you thinking that every show needed its own identity? Maybe they started to run together and have a sense of sameness to them?
Yeah, I think basically that was it. It was In Your House. Okay, well, what is In Your House?
Right.
You understood what WrestleMania was. You understood what Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam were. King of the Ring. But In Your House was just In Your House. And to differentiate one from the other, instead of just a number, hey, In Your House 22 and a half, or whatever the hell it is, to be able to put a subtitle in allowed you to go, oh, hey, this was the one, and fill in the blank from there.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because I've often felt that way about the UFC. As you and I are recording, there was a UFC last weekend, and it was UFC 261. But to me, if you were to say, don't get me wrong, numbers like 100 stick out, or 40 when it was Tito and Shamrock for Vendetta, those sort of stick out. But randomly, hey man, who could forget UFC 172? Like, that does sort of run together. But I think that the UFC, and I know you don't work there, but it feels like they sort of borrowed a page out of the WWE, because boxing had always been, name versus name. That's the way it was promoted. It was Tyson Holyfield 2. We're putting them first. With this, we're just selling what the experience is. So it feels like perhaps the UFC borrowed their naming after what you guys were doing with WrestleMania. The difference being WrestleMania happens but once a year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And it just distinguishes what that event is. And you can keep those phrases in your mind a lot easier than you can remember. Well, shit, was that 21 or was that 22? Oh,
right.
Well, actually it's 47. And it it helps. It just really helps.
This night, the next night after this pay-per-view, we see Mankind beat Bart Gunn, and, Jim Ross is going to interview Bart Gunn after the match. Of course, Mankind won with the mandible claw, and Bart is gasping and talking about the paralysis that the hold causes, and Mankind attacks him again, and they go to commercial break. We also see Steve Austin beat Scott Taylor in 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Of course, they're talking about setting up the Caribbean strap match here with Austin and Vega. And then Bulldog comes to the ring with his wife, Diana Smith, and Sean follows, and they've got a whole in-ring thing here where essentially we're setting up the angle with Bulldog, and we're using Diana. Cornette's going to call Sean a sexual deviant because he says that Sean backed her into the corner and propositioned her. And he, I don't know why this is funny, but Cornette says that Sean wanted to sully and corrupt and desecrate her. And he concluded, Diana, look at him and tell the man who tried to lay his hands on your most private parts and call him a fornicator. God, this is so funny to me, dude. You fornicator.
Are you calling me a fornicator, motherfucker?
Well, I mean, I've met you. Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com. Your kids. Once upon a time you were.
Well, okay.
And then Diana says, Sean, I know you want me. The fans ooh and ah. And then Sean says, Mrs. Smith, with all due respect, please do not flatter yourself. Of course, she slapped him. And he says, well, I guess we know who wears the pants in the Smith family. And here we go. Pull apart brawl. The matches are going to be great though. We also get the Godwins and the New Rockers. Hey, as a rule of thumb, if you put the word new in front of something, is it instantly dead?
Oh my God, no. It takes off like a rocket.
Give me some examples of that.
New gain now with scrubbing bubbles.
Oh, I mean, like, you always say that. I love you for that being just your go-to. The New Rockers, New Midnight Express. Just, you know.
New Tide with Occident.
Well, we needed some Occident for what's next.
What is Occident?
You know, let's go with it. It seems like something Isaac Yankem would use, and you guys weren't putting much thought into that, but Warrior's going to pin Isaac Yankem. Oh God, Warrior Isaac Yankem. Let's talk about the pay-per-view. Overall, the Wrestling Observer readers gave it 64.9% thumbs up, 21.6% thumbs down, 13.5% thumbs in the middle. What say you, Bruce? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I thought it was a fun show. And again, I think you remember what was on last, and that's where you judge.
I mean, it's not really a one-match show, but it doesn't feel like it's that far off. I mean, this was a really good show.
It was a good show. And again, I emphasize, it was a fun show. Especially,
when you can consider a couple of the matches, specifically that main event. Go out of your way to see it. If you're going to watch one thing here, that's the one. The best match poll, it was pretty much unanimous. Razor and Vader got 11 votes, but Shawn and Diesel got 246. Worst match, everyone agreed. Warrior and Goldust was the worst match. The highlight, though, for me, I think will always be the leg spot. Do you think to a younger, I'm not saying overall, I want to be clear about that, but to fans, I don't know, in their 30s, maybe early 40s, is Mad Dog Vachon's most memorable thing going to be this leg spot?
Maybe to that audience, but if you did a little research and did a little digging, Mad Dog Vachon was hardcore before they knew what hardcore even meant.
For sure.
So, probably to this audience, but Mad Dog was Mad Dog. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est te paye.
All right, boys and girls. Bruce is getting fussy. It's time for us to put him to bed, just like Uncle Tom used to do. No. Brother Tom. We'll figure that out. Next week, though.
What are you saying?
Well, if you're like, he's your brother and, y'all. Well, okay. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.